Hello, everyone, and welcome to another overview video from Nanda Journeys. I'm your host, Michael, and I'm going to be joined in a minute by our founder, Nicola Balmain. But today, we are talking about another hidden gem around the world, and that is Sri Lanka. And we are actually going to Sri Lanka on a medical and healthcare journey this November 6th to the 14th. But before we get to the beautiful island of Sri Lanka and everything that we'll be experiencing, let me welcome Nicola Balmain to tell us a little bit more about Nanda Journeys for those of you that may not be as familiar and might be joining us for the first time. Nicola, thank you so much for being here.
Always a pleasure and always a great privilege to talk about another wonderful part of our world, Sri Lanka. So those of you that are not familiar with Nanda Journeys, welcome to the Nanda family. Travel has been my passion, my lifelong career, and I founded Nanda Journeys in 2015. I've worked in the UK and also in the United States, and my passion is connecting people around the world, connecting people to talk about their passions in another country. We're very proud of the accolades we've received along the way, and the phrase that's been coined along the way is the Nanda way. Brought to us by our travelers, by our leaders, by our guides, and by the community we connect with. They kept telling us they loved the Nanda way, and quite frankly, I love it too. But what does the Nanda way mean? It means we do things with authenticity. We create authentic experiences, opportunities for you to connect with local people going about their everyday lives. We try and be as responsible as possible and keep your travel dollars local so you can have the most profound impact on the community that you're visiting. And all of our programs are small, bespoke experiences to ensure that you have an intimate and life-changing experience.
And I think, for those that have seen our videos before in the past, I always say this, I love the story of how the Nanda way came about. It wasn't a bunch of marketers behind the scenes trying to come up with something that will catch on. It was really something that came about organically. And I think one thing that we could add to this list are the destinations that we visit as well. And Sri Lanka is one of those destinations that has profound beauty and is world-renowned among the travel trade about its beauty and the reasons people should go. I think anytime I ask someone if they've been to Sri Lanka and they say yes, it's their favorite country in the world. And as you can see, the accolades are world-renowned, with the most recent one being Forbes saying it's one of the best places to travel to in 2023. Lonely Planet, just before the pandemic, said in 2019, it's the #1 place in the world to go. So that beauty, that story is just going to grow from where we stand today. And a lot of people share a little bit of a concern in regards to, the safety of Sri Lanka. And so we put this here because Worldpackers named it one of the 13 safest destinations to travel to in the world. So the safety itself, that concern about safety, isn't something that people need to worry about. Sri Lanka is one of the hidden gems of the world. I think if you ask people where Sri Lanka was on a map, they wouldn't be able to even point it out. And I think that's part of the cool part of traveling there, right? What would you say?
Most definitely. I had dear friends from England, and they moved to Sri Lanka. They fell in love with Sri Lanka. They fell in love with the people. They even bought a cinnamon plantation out there, and they live there in Sri Lanka. They absolutely love it. So it's super safe. The people are amongst some of the friendliest you'll ever visit. And at the heart of Nanda Journeys is the people. And that's really why we travel to different places. Yes, to experience something new, but it's the people that touch our hearts ultimately, and where all the stories are. And the Irish have coined the phrase the Emerald Isle, but the Sri Lankans claim the Emerald Isle for their own too, because of the lush tropical landscapes. There's a mountainous region, you have beaches, but all around you is beauty. Yeah, so take your camera for sure.
Yeah. So our two goals with this video are, first, put Sri Lanka on your bucket list, and second, come with us to Sri Lanka in November, because we have an amazing journey on November 6th to the 14th exploring the medical and healthcare of Sri Lanka. So our first night is an overnight flight into the city of Colombo, where we'll spend 2 evenings in Colombo. From there, we travel north to Habarana. We spend 3 evenings in the city of Habarana before traveling south to Kandy, where we spent 2 final evenings in Kandy before flying back out of Colombo. So getting a chance to traverse all of the beauty of Sri Lanka, getting a chance to see the people, getting a chance to understand the culture, taste the food, but also very unique to this journey, Nicola, and something that we added in is this career enrichment and some of the things that they'll be seeing in the healthcare world. So tell us a little bit about what a career enrichment journey means for Nanda Journeys?
Yeah, for us, it's kind of like networking on steroids is how we come to think about it. But it's a wonderful way of combining your passion for travel and exploring the world with your profession. And even if you're not a professional member of the healthcare community, you can come along as a guest. It's a great way to experience a destination in a small group, but also understand the cultural diversity through the lens of a healthcare professional. You know, education and healthcare is it's profound. No matter where you are in the world, we all need it, we all want it, but access to it is different the world over. So you'll be traveling with your peers. You'll be meeting with professional members of the healthcare community, academics. You'll learn about oversight, public and private access to medicine and healthcare in Sri Lanka. And it's just a great way of really learning, but also a deductible expense opportunity because it's professional development. So we have almost 2 days dedicated to your professional development. So it's about 8 hours of continuing education credit. But then we're really layering in all of those wonderful cultural experiences that I know we're going to chat about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of the reason going on a career enrichment journey like this, you know, your knowledge, your education all provides you to your profession, but your network as well also helps helps you be successful in your profession as well. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that we're going to be doing in Sri Lanka on the professional side of things.
Yeah, many of our, doctors, nurses, OTs, PTs, speech language pathologists, allied healthcare executives have traveled with us. And the thing they constantly say is the ability to be able to bring back their learning and really envelope, and fold that into their practice and how they work with their client, with their patients rather, or their other professional members of their team. It really allows them to understand and have a broader understanding, of global cultures. So this is it's a great way of networking, yes, with your US counterparts, but really broadening your horizons, broadening your networks, but broadening your mind too. I think we're all lifelong learners, and we're certainly lifelong learners here at Nanda Journeys.
Yeah. And I mean, career enrichment and peer engagement is a big part of what we do, continuing education. But in Sri Lanka, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the cultural immersion, the exploration that this group is going to be doing, because if there's one thing Sri Lanka has, it is culture, it is beauty. And so we get a chance to explore all of it and experience all of it on this amazing journey.
Yeah, we obviously can't talk about everything here today. We'd be on here for hours, but given the cultural diversity, there are 26 national parks in Sri Lanka. You're going to, of course, have a jeep safari to see some of the most amazing elephant herds that you've ever seen. Sri Lanka has, one of the largest elephant populations in the world. You'll explore Buddhism. There are 26,000 temples in Sri Lanka. And so you've been visiting a lot of those and really understanding the cultural history of Sri Lanka. And the cooking class, we love to get involved, and you'll have a cooking class and then eat your lunch in a paddy field. So those are just a tiny little bit of the things that you'll experience on this journey to Sri Lanka.
And that cooking class, it's almost like we set it up, Nicola, is a great transition into the food and the cuisine that Sri Lanka has to offer, because, we were talking before, it's a misconception as to how plentiful and how varying the food is here in Sri Lanka.
Definitely. My friend Jed actually has a wonderful podcast that I will share with you all. And he said it's where his taste buds come alive, and it's so true. It's a great destination for vegans. It's not just curries. It's not hot. It's not spicy. Yes, if you like hot and spicy, fantastic. But fresh fish, fresh vegetables, a wide variety of spices and flavors. And another friend of mine, he lives there, and he says he's continuously learning new fruits, new vegetables, and, really organic. Proteins are great, fiber is great. It could be a destination focused entirely on cuisine, and maybe we'll do that in the future too.
Yeah, with such a lush jungle with so many options, I mean, food is a huge part of the culture and the community. And just tasting the food, a lot of people have that misconception of, I'm just going to go there and eat curries. And it's so much more than just that. It's got a wide variety of fruits and vegetables and fish. You had mentioned they have 2 kitchens, right? In many of the houses.
In their homes. Yeah, a lot of their homes they have, and it makes total sense, right? So regardless of the size of people's homes, they have an indoor kitchen and then they have an outdoor kitchen. And in their outdoor kitchen, they'll prepare their fish, all of their pungent spices, and that's where all the aromas live outside. So those aromas, which they taste beautiful, but they can become a little overpowering and overwhelming inside. I'm like, everybody should have 2 kitchens. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that story of the 2 kitchens. I think it's a great idea that we should adapt here. But we mentioned briefly about the guest program, because guests are invited. Although this is a continuing education journey that we're leaving on in November, we do want guests to come, because while they're off doing their continuing education, there is something for everyone, correct?
Absolutely. When guests are, or rather when professional members are in their meetings at the clinic or the hospital or the university, guests will be enjoying privately guided cultural activities. And this is to name just but a few. So you're really digging deeper into the cultural diversity of Sri Lanka with your local guide. So yes, bring your spouse, bring your travel partner. Some people bring their grandkids, or their children, especially if they're going, thinking about college. This is a great way to introduce them to some people that are going to be in their field of study.
Yeah. And so there's something for everyone. So let's get down to the details again. November 6th to the 14th. Our goal is to have you join us in Sri Lanka, but at the very least, put Sri Lanka on your bucket list, because it is a beautiful destination. The cost of this itinerary is $5,999 per person, land and air out of Los Angeles. If that gateway is not convenient for you, please call us, reach out to us. We are happy to work with you on a more convenient gateway. If you are traveling as a single, you're still welcome to join us. The single supplement is $1,299 per person. The deposit to hold your space is $500 per person, and the travel insurance would be due at that time. I do recommend that if you are interested, we are getting closer to departure, so we do want to make sure that you have your space. Space is limited to only 12 people on this itinerary. So if you're interested, please put your deposit down. We hate telling people that they're waitlisted, especially after we get them all excited and inspired to travel to Sri Lanka. So we hope that you can join us. At the very least, if you are interested in Sri Lanka and learning more about the destination, Nicola, where can they find and get more information from you?
Yeah, please visit the website for more information or give us a call at 888-747-7501. We will, of course, share the itinerary details with you, but also that $5,999 that you mentioned, Michael, it's a very luxurious experience. We're staying in 5-star accommodations. We'd be happy to share that detail with everybody. So be in touch, or drop us an email, info@nandajourneys.com, and we hope to hear from you.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you have any room in your luggage and you join us, I can fit in very small spaces. I'd love to come along. So thank you all so much for joining us. Nicola, I'll leave the last word to you.
Yep, come join us in Sri Lanka. We look forward to hearing from you, and welcome to the Nanda family.